$50 million. Like, I don't know. It's one of my who knows? Who gives a shit? Where did most of the money go? Houses or
planes? Well, it's stupid shit. It was fun.
Because of the of boxing. Just
also
like
money.
Just like but I don't even think he don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Also has gotten really into NFTs.
And if you in the NFT world and you betting on me, you will never lose. But what I need you to do right now, go get Mayweather. That's my new NFT. I've been working on that for months.
Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson have vocally questioned Floyd Mayweather's financial security, citing his frequent exhibition fights and extravagant spending. Despite a $42 million investment, charges of fraud and financial problems remain. Their comments suggest that Mayweather's fortune may be more fragile than it looks, increasing speculation that he is bankrupt.
How do you feel about Floyd, though?
Huh?
How do you feel about
Awesome
Floyd?
fighter, great fighter. You know, he's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. You expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
I didn't see that.
Tell me, so like, what's the difference now from like your era to today?
No one was afraid of anyone. Everyone really believed they can beat him.
But it's a business, more business, it's more money than everybody.
Floyd Mayweather changed the game of it when he turned into the pretty boy.
Yeah, that was cool too. But he had to get in that ring and fight too. He had to fight the best competitor. He wiped everybody out. And that's why he's who he is. He beat everybody. He beat everybody I thought would give him a chance. He's wiped everybody out. Nobody can even match him. The best. He didn't pick guys. He took the best. Even the guys I picked against him, he beat everybody, made everybody wrong.
Right.
And that's why he's who he is.
Mike Tyson raised concern about Floyd Mayweather's behavior after his retirement, despite retiring from professional boxing. Mayweather kept intense training and even returned for exhibition bouts. Tyson attacked this, claiming that Floyd's continued efforts were motivated by money rather than a love for the sport, undermining a retiring champion's legacy.
You don't think there's an opportunity to land a big punch on Floyd?
Let me tell you something about Floyd. This is what I don't like about him either. No matter whatever we say about him, and it could be true, but he's in that gym. He's a rat.
Yeah.
He retired, but he stayed in the gym. He can't help it. It's just he don't do drugs. That's his heroin. The gym.
Someone told me this. They say he does not. He doesn't have a vice. Yeah. He doesn't have a vice.
No, he does. The gym.
The gym.
The gym.
Mayweather made news by buying 6 business buildings for $42 million. While this looks to be a planned step toward long-term prosperity, it is also read as a reaction to criticism of his lavish spending. This big purchase indicates a shift away from flamboyant displays and toward securing financial assets.
We got two more deals I want to get into. Floyd Mayweather just did a big deal. It's a short one, so let's get into that. Floyd Mayweather Jr. just bought $402 million in a real estate portfolio. That's dope. That's super dope. It says the retired boxer has gone into contract to pay $402 million for a 1,000 unit affordable housing portfolio of more than 60 buildings. $402 million, Floyd got 60 buildings. The multifamily deal for properties concentrated in Upper Manhattan will be one of the city's biggest this year. A slice of the portfolio closed Wednesday. The remainder is expected to close in the fourth quarter or early 2025. That's dope. Floyd just spent $400 million and got 1,000 units and 60 buildings.
Joe Rogan commented on Mayweather's recent exhibition fights, stating that his performances may be motivated by a desire to keep an opulent lifestyle rather than a love of boxing. Rogan's analysis highlights the idea that these fights are motivated by financial responsibilities rather than personal ambition or sporting desire.
Exhibition. So that's what's interesting is Floyd's making more money than anybody, and he's boxing people who have no chance of beating him, and he's doing it as an exhibition. It doesn't even hurt his record.
Because of the drug of boxing. Just
Also
like
money.
But I don't even think he don't need any money.
He spends so much money.
Yeah, but he don't need any.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Floyd good.
I bet if he's playing for the future, you got to keep it coming in if you're going to keep spending the way he spends.
Yeah, but I think he has a lot of other business interests that he can get money from.
Hopefully.
And not just boxing. But it's the drug of getting. Floyd still trains when he doesn't have a fight.
Rogan also stated that Mayweather's highly promoted fight with Conor McGregor was a calculated business choice following his original retirement. Floyd returned for the blockbuster fight, making a whopping $100 million. This choice, while financially rewarding, was generally interpreted as valuing money over competitiveness.
Okay, so your new contract, you wanted no extensions. That's one thing.
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's one thing.
Okay, what was one of them? The ability to box?
One of them was the ability to box. They said that wasn't an option. Boxing is dead. It's not possible. This or that.
Now, what does that feel like to you, knowing that Conor McGregor did it and fought Floyd Mayweather and made $100 million?
Yes, gentlemen, let's do this.
A bitch, nigga, that's that shit I don't like. Nah. Sneak designs, that's that shit I don't like. Don't like. A snitch.
Mayweather is notorious for his unrepentant pride, frequently comparing himself to previous boxing legends while highlighting his own achievements. While confidence is common among top sportsmen, Floyd's self-promotion frequently borders on arrogance, alienating fans and drawing repeated criticism from the public and media personalities.
Well, I think I'm separated now. You know, I don't think there's no boxer in history that has accomplished what I've accomplished. Not bragging or boasting, just speaking the truth. I take my hat off to a lot of legendary champions, you know, that paved the way for me to be where I'm at in the sport of boxing. But that was their era, and this is my era. Had a tremendous career. And we got young fighters that's on the rise, that's under our banner. The ultimate goal is to find the next Floyd Mayweather that can break my records.
Snoop Dogg, who is well known in both the music and sports industries, thinks there is a definite distinction between being rich and wealthy. Mayweather may have amassed great riches, but he lacks the long-term viewpoint that characterizes true wealth. Snoop's perspective suggests Floyd's concentration stays on the surface level of riches appearance rather than sustainability.
Where did you get that business sense? Because you surpassed everybody in boxing and sports and everything in general. I'm watching you as like, you bigger than the NFL franchise.
You know, every time I got around my billionaire buddies, I was more like, it's cool to come over your house, but I need a house like this. It's cool to ride on your yacht, but I need a yacht like this. It's cool to ride on your jet, but I want a jet like this. And I said, no, I don't want to ride on yours. You show me how to get it. You can't be my friend if you can't show me how to get it. Once they show me how to get it, then I can install it in my children.
It's a bloodline thing.
Yes, it's about wealth. You know, I'm no longer rich, I'm wealthy.
Mayweather's repeated self-comparisons to previous boxing heroes serve both to develop his brand and to attract criticism, although trust in oneself is important in the ring. Floyd's failure to show humility even in retirement has transformed adulation into frustration for many observers. Floyd said that his method to business is based on risk-taking. He has freely claimed that he invests in companies that few people understand, seeing them as opportunities to rapidly increase his wealth. Nonetheless, this high-risk conduct is frequently viewed as reckless and indicates a lack of standard financial planning.
Experiences. And with me being able to make a lot of money, I'm able to bring my team as well as my family around the world so they can experience different things.
Something you said earlier, Floyd, it really fascinated me, and it gave me an insight that you really learned about money. Is you said in real estate, you got to know what to do on a small scale first.
Yes.
And then you went big. And is that because you don't want to take massive risk because you want to be smart with your money?
Well, like you don't go out there and work extremely hard for so many years and then take every dime you got and just put it into something that you don't know about.
Well, a lot of people do, don't they? I mean,
and majority of the time you get bad results. 90% of the time you get bad results. Just like boxing.
Across social media, Mayweather frequently shows heaps of cash and bank statements, symbols of prosperity. While some enjoy his openness, others believe it is overbearing and insecure. His displays of riches draw attention, but they also raise questions about his financial stability. The money man is planning for Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas. We need to get the trees to make it rain. I need everybody here. Girls Collection. The Super Bowl will take place on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, regardless of who wins or loses. I need everyone there. Girl Collection. Yes. Mayweather chose not to hire a management and instead handled all of his negotiations himself. This gave him unlimited power, but it also left him exposed while reaping tremendous cash benefits. The lack of professional oversight has made him vulnerable to frauds and poor business choices that could have been prevented with assistance. I believe Floyd has never had a boss. Correct. He has always made his own arrangements. Is it what caused his wealth? If he didn't have to cut it, it's not that he doesn't have a manager, but he does have a manager, so he's got a man, an elderly fellow, that's always with him. And but he does everything for him. Everything ain't very clever, believe me, but training-wise man's a genius. And it's hard work, dedication that doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, I'm world class as an athlete, but I never trained like the top boys. I just don't worry because I love the fighting. This is turn up. I mean, after 3-4 rounds, if I ain't knocked you out, got Sting coming at me. As I spoke on stage with Floyd Mayweather, we really resonated and I gave him a hard time cause we were in Miami and I went I don't watch boxing, not my thing, and we chit-chatted about that and we just spoke about wealth and we went through the thing. When he stopped boxing, he put so much capital into real estate. He's like, Andy, why didn't anybody tell? Because he left. I'm paying so much in taxes. I don't like the government being my partner. He took all of his money into real estate. And he says, Andy, I've never had to work so little for so much. He made $100 million in one night. Yes, the government grabbed half of it. Now I make a lot of money, but never get out of bed. Joe Rogan suggested that Mayweather's continuous display of fancy stuff could be part of a bigger problem, including rumors of financial trouble. His gorgeous posts begin to appear less celebratory and more like a cover for insecurity. The picture that made him famous now adds to a story of instability. Floyd Mayweather is the only person who is able to do this. He's the only guy who can be balling out of control, showing money, million-dollar watches, and a fleet of super expensive cars, and still had everyone's attention. He does it. He is the only one. Floyd never lost his focus. I don't think he was using drugs or drinking. You know, he kept his. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub, so he would go out in Vegas, seem like he was partying, drink water, and then have his driver drive, and he would jog home while wearing his pants and jeans. The dude was always working, and he never lost shape. Dude, the pain isn't running home in jeans. It's sitting in a club with a bunch of drunks sipping water. I would jog home all night. Roger noted that Floyd's unwavering desire could be attributed to his upbringing, notably the impact of his father and uncle. While this fierce competitiveness drove his boxing success, it also appears to affect how he handles his finances, treating wealth accumulation as another championship to be won. If you just look at fighting in terms of how often you get hit versus how often you hit the other guy, he's the best ever. The way him, his uncle, and his father talk, I imagine they were always super competitive from the time they were young. Like he grew up being super competitive. They're competitive about talking. They're competitive about all kinds of things. So it's like that hive, growing up with that all the time. And the boxing skill Floyd has constantly underlined the value of money in his life, even encouraging his children to follow suit. His goal of building generational wealth is commendable in theory, but his obsession with money over values has raised concerns about the impact he is truly leaving behind. I believe in building generational wealth even when my children, all 4 of my children, are adults, and I told them no more gifts because I feel like I'm hurting my children just by giving them money. They go shopping, put gas in their car, party, and come back, and I need money. So I give them Mayweather's taste for luxury. It's renowned with the $18 million, and countless others worth thousands each. These spending habits create headlines, but they also raise concerns about financial sustainability. Even a wealth as enormous as his could shatter beneath the weight of unrestrained pleasure. The most expensive watch I know is worth $18 million. Tell me about your watch collection. Man, you must have one of the biggest watch collections in the world. I believe I have over 100 watches in my collection, including some million-dollar pieces. How much should I pay for this one? What are your thoughts? You're here for me now. I need some help. Help a small man out. Okay. That watch is easily worth a couple $100,000, but it is important because it appreciates rather than depreciates. How can you buy a $17 million watch? No. 18.18. Sorry. Floyd has always been known as a shrewd businessman, but some of his methods raise questions. There have been reports of overstated earnings and missed financial responsibilities. These moments show a brand based as much on illusion as on genuine achievement. Floyd Mayweather is the most successful boxer in history, with a 50-0 record, and one of the richest athletes of all time, with $1 billion in profits. But you probably didn't know it all started with a $750,000 bet on himself. Here's the wacky story. In 2006, Floyd Mayweather was 10 years into his boxing career and making over $5 million per bout when he was signed to Bob Arum's top-ranked boxing promoter. Arum got 25% of Mayweather's bout purse, but Mayweather sought more, turning down an $8 million offer to face Antonio Margarita in 2006 and claiming he earned $20 million to fight Oscar de la Hoya. Arum was unhappy and refused to pay up, so Mayweather paid the $750,000 exit fee outlined in his contract to leave Top Rank. Mayweather then promoted his own fights, collecting a part of every ticket, hot dog, and drink sold at the event, as well as all pay-per-view sales. Just 1 year later, after quitting Top Rank, Mayweather made $25 million for his victory over Oscar de la Hoya. That's what happens when you bet on yourself, even as he approaches 50. Mayweather stays committed to flaunting his fortune on social media. The private jets, fancy outfits, and piles of cash all serve a public image, but critics warn that this preoccupation may endanger his long-term financial well-being. Being so, supposedly, caught Floyd captain about buying some apartment buildings in New York. I didn't think it was a big deal. I mean, he said he had bought his grandson some land, I think in Manhattan as well, so honestly I didn't really think a lot of this was a big deal. I mean, it's kind of a red flag when you're 50 years old and feel like almost 50 and still get to flex on social media. But you know, people on social Angeli started researching, and they discovered that Floyd was capping. Floyd is now a member of some form of ownership group that received a portion of it, and you got 50%. Mayweather was previously banned for promoting fraudulent financial schemes. Instead of learning from the lesson, he resumed similar projects following the ban, including a contentious NFT campaign with Kim Kardashian. This practice demonstrates a worrying disregard for reputation and legal consequences in the chase of rapid gains. Mr. I believe that nothing is bad. Correction. Mr. He just caught unbanned from scamming and is back. This time, he is selling NFT. Now, I'm going to tell you all that this is a clear fraud if you can just read the signs. But since Floyd can't read, I'm going to explain it to you all by telling you about Floyd's past. Money, Mayweather, and cryptocurrency. Our story starts in 2018, when Floyd Mayweather was banned from advertising securities for 3 years after defrauding his supporters with an ICO called Centrate. He was advocating a lot of these ICO frauds at the time, and he barely avoided an ICO fraud case on the same grounds, claiming that he wasn't popular enough to persuade people to buy the scam. Now that it's 2022, his 3-year securities prohibition has ended, and he's back to scamming. He is currently being sued again for pushing Ethereum Max alongside Kim Kardashian, and he has also become quite interested in NFT. That's all for today's show. Stay tuned for the next.